what's up, snuggly baby? So I am here right now rocking my beautiful natural hair. Why? Because I'm too black, too strong, and too live. Speaking of the which, that is why I am gracing you with my presence today, because I am going to do a response to an interview that Mr. Doggy Diamond, shout out to Doggy Diamonds, an interview that he conducted with Marquis from the Two Live crew. So that's why I'm rocking this t-shirt today. I just want to say to Doggy Diamonds, it was an excellent interview. And Marquis just basically talked about how he got started with the Two Live crew, how he was introduced to the Two Live crew, and he kind of covered what it was like. And then the interview started going a little left. Now, I'm going to talk about all the things that went left. I'm not going to talk about when he first came into the Two Live crew and when he first hooked up with Uncle Luke. I'm not going to discuss none of that because that's his story to tell. But I do have some comments on some of the things that he said that I feel he has beef with Uncle Luke. Now, I can speak on Marquis. I can speak on the Two Live crew. I can speak on all artists that were signed under the same label that I was signed to because we were all label mates. So, we're going to get into this interview, and I may do pause and stop, make my comment, present receipts, and that's it. I personally don't have anything against Marquis, and thank God he's doing well. Thank God that everybody that I am in contact with from Luke Records is doing well. And let's get into this interview.
Why is it that when we think Two Live Crew, we think Luke, but we don't like? Why is it that Fresh Kid Ice, he don't really get the recognition? Like we think of Luke, but we don't really think of y'all too much. Why do you think that is?
That's because Luke had, I guess he had took it upon himself to get out in the front when all of the publicity was going on. Everybody knew Two Live Crew, and we were all together before the Nasty As We Wanna Be album came out, and the controversy spun around the song Me So Horny. Luke kind of put himself in the front, and truthfully, with me, it was wrong for me to let him do that, but I never really could relate to Luke. He wasn't really my kind of guy, and I really didn't want to even really get to know dude.
But do you know that y'all played it off well? Because we would have not known that. I thought you was a Miami dude, so you really played your part.
Let's stop it right there.
You played your part.
Okay, so he's saying that they were together as a group, Two Live Crew, and that the reason why when you think Two Live Crew, you think Uncle Luke is because, according to what you heard Marquis just say, Luke put himself out in the forefront, and he don't even know why he allowed Luke to do that. Now let's think about that for a second. Let's think about that. Okay, Marquis, let's think about that. Let's take Beyonce and the girls, right, that she was with, Destiny's Child. When you think Destiny's Child, you think Beyonce. Although you know the other girls, you think Beyonce. Why? Because Beyonce stood out. Beyonce stood out front and center. So that would be like Kelly or Michelle saying, or the previous Destiny Child girls saying, oh, I shouldn't allow Beyonce to stand out. Let me tell you something. If you're in a group and then one member stands out, then hey, that's the motherfucker that stands out, Marquis. It's just like with H-Town, okay? Who stood out? Dino. Rest in peace. He's no longer with us, but he stood out. So there's gonna always be one member in a group that stands out. Now, another thing that Marquis said was that he never really was feeling the brother. He never particularly cared for him. If you never was feeling him and you never cared for him, why did you even fuck with him? That's my question to you, Marquis. Okay, so let's continue.
Part well.
Yes, I did, man, and that was my choice to stay down there and all of that, and all of that foolishness. That was my choice, and my loyalty turned into stupidity when it comes to that situation as well.
Do you feel like you were so loyal that you started being disloyal to yourself?
Definitely disloyal to myself. I used to tell Mr. Mix all the time, I want to leave, man. This is not cool. This dude is not cool. This place is not cool. But as I grew in Miami and as I started venturing off from Luke and his camp and started meeting other people, I started meeting some beautiful cats. I started meeting some beautiful older people. Like, when my mom's had passed, it's like, it's like about like 2 or 3 families that took me in there in Miami, and women with kids and everything were calling me their sons. Like, yo, you lost your mother, so now you're my son, and my home and everything that I have is open to you. And Miami has some very, very beautiful people. Very beautiful people.
We're going to stop there. Yes, I met a lot of nice people in Miami too. We're going to just move this a little forward because he kind of talks about, the passing of his mom and everything. I just want to get to the things that I want to comment on. Okay? So let's see.
$1,000, something like that. It wasn't nothing.
Okay, let's bring it back, son.
Wow.
When and being that's because Luke had I guess he had took it upon himself to get out in the front when all of the publicity was going on. So now you're my son, and my home and everything that I have is open to you. And Miami has some very, very beautiful people. Very beautiful people. Very down.
I don't have nothing
very,
queued
very
up,
real,
so I
very
may just
loyal
talk
people,
over the stuff that.
Are you a legend?
Sometimes I think I am, and then sometimes I run from the word. Sometimes I run from the word famous.
What bothers you about that? What bothers you about legend?
Because, and a lot of people might think I'm wrong for this, but because I feel like I've never really enjoyed the fruits of my labor, and and fame without fortune is torture.
Wow.
And being in 2 Live Crew, we went through 2 Live Crew making those albums and that little 7-8 year run that we had, we were not getting paid. We were not getting paid.
Whoa.
Yes, Doggy Diamonds was like, whoa. And me too. Now listen to what he's saying. He said they were not getting paid. Now this is where Doggy Diamonds is going to go in with some solid questions because he wants to understand what the fuck happened, brother? Like, what the fuck happened, Brother Marquis? Okay, so here we go.
Whoa. 7-8 years.
Yeah,
what do you mean I wasn't getting paid?
We were not getting paid what we were supposed to. We were not getting paid anything close to what we were supposed to.
So where was the money going?
Luke was keeping the money. Luke was keeping the money. Luke was keeping the money. He'd give us a little show money. That's all we would get, show money, and we probably wasn't getting all of the show money.
So you never had your publisher?
Oh, no.
You was writing all the lyrics?
Yep.
You were Ice?
Writing all of the lyrics. Me and Fresh Kid Ice was writing all of the lyrics. I wrote the biggest record we ever had, Me So Horny. I wrote Chinaman's lyrics for that record too.
So you wrote Chinaman lyrics, your lyrics. Wow.
Yep.
All right. Hold on. How many
Hold
albums
on.
did y'all do that you did?
Boop. Okay. So he said that they ain't make no money off of those albums. He said that he didn't even have publishing, but yet he was writing. Now, I am going to interrupt with examples of myself as a Luke Records artist, because a lot of this stuff that Marquis is saying to, I personally cannot relate to. And this is why. He said that he was writing most of the songs, but he didn't get any publishing. The reason why, Marquis, you didn't get any publishing is because you never registered with a publishing company. Lesson number 1. Before you start dropping music, do your research. Learn everything there is to know about the music industry. Learn what royalties are. Learn what publishing is. Learn what mechanical rights are. Learn how a record company works, how a record company operates. Now, going back to how a record company works, you were in an ideal situation just as myself. You was with a young black man that started his own independent record company, was distributing his own shit, had his own warehouse with shit coming in, own clubs. You was with an experienced young black brother that you said you had no interest in. The difference between me and you, Marquis, is that I took interest in that. I was like, I'm going to stay around this man every fucking chance I get, because I need to learn everything I need to know about the music business and how this shit works. Like, I'm going to absorb every fucking piece of knowledge that I can get out of Luther Campbell. I'm going to drain that nigga of all the knowledge that he will allow me to drain him of. And I would just hang out at the record company and just watch and listen. Watch and listen. I never talked that much. I was pretty much quiet. And I was able to learn how a record company works. Now, let's continue.
And see no money from. So you never see no money from nothing.
Probably a little advancement, and then started seeing a little money after Nasty As We Want to Be, but it wasn't nothing. What, $27,000-$30,000, something like that? It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing for real. He was giving us peanuts.
So you didn't know anything about publishing back then?
No, I didn't know anything about publishing. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about publishing. They came with the publishing papers after we did Nasty As We Want to Be. And that's when they came with the BMI papers.
Wow. And then you signed. What did you sign exactly?
Well, writers. Just get writers. No mechanicals, no nothing. Just writers.
So explain to the people, if you can, what is mechanicals?
I think mechanicals...
If they use your stuff like in stadiums and commercials and stuff?
Probably stuff like that. Probably royalties off of music that's being licensed.
Got you.
All right, let's stop right there. Let's pause right there, Doggy Diamonds. Now, this is like 150 years later, Marquis. Because you older than me. This is 150 years later. And you still can't determine the difference between a mechanical or a writer's share. Now, when I signed to Luke, before I even signed to Luke, I already had my own publishing company under BMI. So when I met Luther Campbell, when I dropped my first album under Luke Records, I already had publishing, and I had already had on my name, Jiggy G, trademarked it, and I had already went to had every song that I wrote, I had ownership. Like, I went to the Library of Congress and I had the copyright to all 14 of my songs on that album. So once I went to the record company and I had a contract and I took it back to have it looked over by an attorney, I already had all my shit in place at a young age. How did I do that? By me doing artist showcases. I was out there mingling and I met people. I wound up meeting this very nice woman by the name of Kat Jackson that was an executive at BMI, and she put me on to publishing. I knew about copyright, but I didn't know about publishing. And how I learned that was from her. That was just from hanging out, doing artist showcasing, networking, meeting people, and learning everything that I needed to learn. What the fuck were you doing all that time when you was hanging out and going and doing artist showcases and talking and mingling with people, Marquis? What were you doing all that time? What were you learning? What the fuck were you doing? Were you sober? Were you high? Like, even I smoked weed, but I still was on top of my shit. So what the fuck happened? Let's continue, shall we?
Getting all this play in London and all this place, and you not seeing a dollar off of it, or it's going to Luke.
Yep, it's going to Luke. It was going to Luke. Luke had all of the money.
So how much? So I know y'all did tours though, right?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did do tours.
And how much was you getting a show, if you could remember?
Man, I don't even know how much we were getting a show. Some would say 17, 20, but I think it was way, way more than that.
But how much did you personally get? How much do you remember? How much you were getting paid?
Whatever Luke told the management guy to give us.
So
if I can remember correctly, all of our checks.
Now, this is where you fucked up at. Let's take it back to, I ain't really want nothing to do with him. I ain't really want to fuck with him like that. But yet, you ain't want nothing to do with, or you ain't want to even fuck with the man with the motherfucking money. He is the record company. Now, let's talk about the record company. Let's talk about when artists have their first album and their second album. That first album, the artist may still be what we call in the music industry as in the red. What does that mean? When you first sign to a record company and you get an advance, let's say, I don't know, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, I don't know, whatever advance was negotiated with your attorney and the record company, or you just freestyled that shit on your own without no attorney. You was like, fuck it, I'm broke. I'll take whatever you give me. Whatever they gave you, as far as that advance, you got to pay that back. If the record company puts you up in a hotel and you chilling in a hotel and you chilling in all these different properties like Megan Thee Stallion, she be here, she be there, who's paying her rent? You know what I'm saying? Who's covering these expenses? Who's flying you here, there, and there? If the record company is covering all those expenses, you got to pay the record company back. It's called a recoupment. They have to recoup their money. It's only right. If a record company has 10 artists and they done gave advances to those 10 artists, they done put them up in hotels, they done gave them per diem, they done gave them cars, they done made sure they had a house, they done gave them loans, they done bought them clothes, you done have photo shoots, you done did this, and this, and just, you know, taking the money like a motherfucking waterfall. You don't think you supposed to pay these people back their motherfucking money? They supposed to get their money back and they supposed to profit because they are a company. If they don't, then they will fall. The company will not be able to stand if the artists come in pimping the motherfucking company. That's not how it fucking works. If you don't want to be in debt to the record company, then Be a motherfucking independent artist. And that's probably why a lot of artists are going independent today. Let's continue.
We're different. I would get one amount, and Chinaman probably get one amount, and Mr. Mix would probably get one amount.
What was your biggest check, if you could remember?
I think my biggest check from Luke was like, what, 27,000 at one time, and then I think it was another one for 17,000. Then it was another one for like 12.
Out of all of these because y'all was going platinum too.
Right, that's right. I think we had the 5th gold platinum. We had the fifth gold record in hip hop, I believe, right after EPMD.
So you can remember, basically, you can count all the money you got paid, because you running off numbers, but there's not big numbers. Like the kids now hold that to their ears.
They are not big numbers, man. And I wasn't trying to even befriend Luke or get to know Luke to even get in there and see what was really going on. You know, I can count on this many hands how many times I've asked Luke for some money, or it's royalty time, or where is the money? And then a couple of times when I did go ask him for some money, he was like, well, here y'all come begging.
Wow.
There they go, look at them. Here they come begging. So, you know.
Begging for your money.
Begging for our own money, yeah.
So, all right. So help me understand, because the man is...
Now let's pause there. Another mistake, Marquis, that you made, and many other artists. Again, I say the record company is a business. You don't like this man. You don't care for him. You don't even want to be around him. I'm sure he could probably pick up on that shit, because ain't nobody stupid. But yet, the same motherfucker that you don't want to be bothered with, you want to walk up to them and be like, yo, where my money? Where my royalties? Where's this? Marquis, where's your motherfucking contract? Where your motherfucking contract at? You see this right here? Recording agreement. This is my motherfucking contract from Luke Records. I still have my contract. I still have the copy of my contract that my attorney and Luke's attorney negotiated on my behalf and on behalf of the record company to do what was best for the artist, but at the same time, not fucking raping the goddamn record company. It was a negotiation. It was a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. This is my contract. Where was yours, Marquis? Where was yours? Let's continue.
Was that Two Lives Crew management, or was that
Luke's management? That was Luke's management. And that was already a conflict of interest.
And you, how old were you at this time, for the people who don't know?
Well, I got in Two Live Crew, I think, started with Two Live Crew when I was, like 18 or 19?
See, you was a kid. Yeah, now when people listen, they be like, oh, you should have known, but you was 18 years old. You know what I'm saying?
19, yep. Right out of high school. Fresh out of high school, yep.
Damn. So, you it was a point where you wasn't in the group no more. What made you leave the group?
Well, we had just got to the point, man, to where, it's getting really, really disrespectful.
Hold up, Marquis. You said 18, 19, fresh out of high school? Fresh out of high school is 17. So that means your ass must have got left back once or twice. Now, I wonder you ain't know no motherfucking better. Let's continue.
Respectful and you can tell that Luke wanted to break up the group, because one time before, I remember this vividly, like it happened yesterday. Me and Luke was in his BMW, and Luke, he was like, I'm gonna give you $1 million. I want you to leave Mr. Mix and Chinaman and come with me. I'm gonna give you $1 million. I said no. I said, give me and Chinaman $1 million apiece, and give Mr. Mix $2 million, because he's doing all of the work. Luke told me I was crazy, and then he kind of.
That was on you. Now, you wanted to remain loyal to Mr. Mix. You wanted to remain loyal to Chinaman. Luke made you an offer, allegedly. I don't know. I have no idea about this shit. This is what you're saying. I never heard Luke tell that motherfucking story. I have no motherfucking idea. He made you an offer. You decided not to take it. Let's continue. That was your choice. That was your choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. You made a decision not to take it. Motherfucker said, I'll give you a motherfucking $1 million. I'd have been looking at the motherfuckers like, me personally, I'd have took the motherfucking $1 million, nigga. Okay, let's continue.
Distance himself from me, and I kind of distanced myself from him, like at that time. And I tried to tell Mr. Mix and Chinaman what was going on, but Mr. Mix was, he was like, Luke is my brother, he wouldn't do that, you're lying. And then Luke flipped it back on me like, I'm jealous and I'm trying to break up the group.
So was it? Let me ask you something. Was it drugs into play? Was it women back then? What was going on?
Man, we was in Miami in the 80s. It was drugs everywhere. You
Scarface, for real, right?
What was going on in Harlem? I used to see all of the Harlem cats in Miami. Yeah, it was drugs everywhere. It was drugs everywhere. So was it a part? Do you think is a time where you might have got caught up partying so much that you wasn't really paying attention to your money? Yeah. I was partying with no money.
Okay.
To tell you the truth.
Were you partying so hard and were you so motherfucking high that you wasn't paying attention to your money? What you do with your advance? What you do with the money from your shows? Now back to what I was saying about first and second albums. Your first and second album, you may not see any money because that first and second album, the record company is still recouping their money back off of you. But what you will be seeing is money from your shows. Now, your manager is the person that's supposed to oversee you getting shows. Therefore, they get a percentage, okay? The maximum amount that a manager should get for booking your shows and getting your shows and doing all that fucking footwork and running around and phone calls and making sure you get there and all of that, they busting their motherfucking ass. The maximum that they should get is 20% of your show money. So you have 3 members in the group plus the manager that's getting all of these shows for y'all. Everybody motherfucking gotta get paid. If you don't want to split the motherfucking money up in a group, then nigga, be solo. And that's probably why a lot of young artists today that are in groups, like for example, Migos, they're a group, they each broke off and did solo projects. So this way they can have money as a group, divide that shit up amongst themselves however they do it with their management, and then they could go off solo and make a check by themselves. And of course, the manager will get a cut. There you have it. There you have it. So you had the opportunity to break off from the group with that $1 million offer and be solo. But you chose to stay with everybody else because of your loyalty. And I respect your gangster. That was a decision that you made. So when an artist is first signed and a record company invests all this money into you, they got to get that money back. So that first album and that second album, they banking on getting their money back. Now, if you keep going to that record company asking them for shit and they keep giving it to you, that means you're going to forever be in debt to the record company. They going to come collect with motherfucking interest. If you don't want that to happen, then stop asking them for motherfucking money. Plain and simple. Let's continue.
Everything was free. I was partying with no money. And I was partying by myself. And like I said before, it had got to a point to where I wasn't even trying to ask Luke for anything. I wasn't even trying to see him. Basically, talk to him. I didn't want to have nothing to do with him.
So how was y'all working? I mean, we would just come to the studio and write and do stuff, and then like like how was that going? How was that working?
I would want to try to do all of my parts in there with Mr. Mix by himself. Mm-hmm. And when everybody else come, I would try to be out of there. But yeah, it was hell. It was torture. You sitting in the room with somebody that that's sticking you like that, and you sitting in there and trying to work with them. It was not a good feeling. It was not a good.
Okay, so at the end of the day, the conflict was you was in a group with somebody, and that somebody was also the fucking record company. And again, as the record company, he have to make his fucking money. He have to make his money. Any record company exec will tell you, I got to make my fucking money. And if you ain't gonna make me no fucking money, I'm putting your motherfucking ass on the shelf and I'm rocking with the artist that is out there motherfucking hustling. Because as a company, I gotta grow, I gotta stay afloat, and I have to constantly have a cash flow to invest in other artists. So not only was Luke the artist, he was also the record company. What did you not get? Did you just think he just was an artist? He was the motherfucking record company, Luke Records. It wasn't 2 Live Crew Records. It was Luke Records. Let's continue.
Let me keep it real. Why didn't you fuck Luke up?
I don't have any brothers and sisters. I didn't have brothers and sisters at that time. I just had a mom. You got to remember, I'm there in Miami. I'm down there in Miami in the 80s, and it's crazy. And I seen Luke do some crazy stuff. So I don't know if he was trying to do that in front of us to kind of let us know that he's this type of guy. But when we first got there in our bags weren't even packed. We ain't even really packed our bags. And we pulled up at Luke's mom's house. And
now listen, we're going to stop right here. He said, why didn't you fuck Luke up? That's like you fucking working for your boss. And you telling your boss, I want a raise. And your boss ain't give you a raise. So now you gonna fuck your boss up. Do you think you gonna get away with something like that? So you were smart enough not to do no shit like that. What would it have profited you to be fighting a man over some shit that you didn't handle correctly? Where was your attorney, Marquis? Why didn't you have your own independent management outside of Luke's management? Where was your contract? Because at some point in this interview, you said you did like 2-3 albums with no recording contract. If you don't have nothing, if you have nothing in writing, then it don't mean shit. Word of mouth is just motherfucking word of mouth. If it's not in writing, it doesn't mean shit. How you gonna do 2 motherfucking albums, 2-3 albums like you said, under no motherfucking recording contract? If you do 2-3 albums with a nigga and you ain't never signed no motherfucking contract, a nigga ain't gotta give you a motherfucking thing because there's nothing in writing determining that he owe you shit. And when you did get a contract, what did you negotiate? Did you even have an attorney? If you didn't, Marquis, all of that was on you. All of that was on you, baby.
Everybody, when it comes to 2 Live Crew, everybody automatically gravitates to Luther. But Chinaman is he's half Asian and Trinidadian, and he's from
that's right.
He's from Brooklyn, New York. He graduated from Tilden High School.
He's from my town. Wow.
I'm from
I didn't even know
Brooklyn.
that.
I'm familiar with Tilden High
See,
School.
he has brothers and everybody up there, and he's from Brooklyn.
I
He's
feel
from
good. I feel good. I feel good about that now. Hold on. He from the K. You know what I'm saying? That's good. The Kings County.
Yep.
So y'all really New Yorkers. So but you have BET Awards. You have all these things that Luke does, but he never really mentions y'all. Why do you think that is?
Because he wants all of that for himself.
Wow.
He wants all of that for himself, man. He wants all of that for himself, and he still can have it. But I'm just trying to honor Chinaman's death in the right way. So that's why I'm coming out, speaking my truth.
Yeah. So why have you been silent so long?
And even if it makes me seem really, really unintelligent or whatever, but I'm coming out speaking the truth.
Why have you been silent?
Because for a long time, Luke was out there putting himself in the front, and I'm just basically tired of him lying.
Gotcha.
I'm just basically tired of him lying. Chinaman died. He died with nothing.
Wow.
And just tired of Luke lying. I'm just tired of him lying, man. He didn't do it by himself. Luke did not do all of that by himself. He did not have a name until we came into play. Everybody helped each other. But Luke wanted to take all of the credit for going all the way to the Supreme Court and doing all of that. We did all of that together.
Yeah, because you actually were banned. What was that like, fighting the Supreme Court and everything?
It was cool. Actually, going to court, it was okay. It was kind of like, it was like messing with us. Really, it was like really over some petty stuff. I think that sheriff guy down there, Nick Navarro, he just wanted to get some fame, some props.
Let's bump it up. For
messing. I was always feeding. Yep. You look could be like, here they come. They must be hungry. They must want something to eat. So we got to listen to all of that.
You didn't get put. He couldn't even give you $35 a day.
Man, that man wasn't doing nothing. We was out there on our own, baby. We was out there on our own. Yep.
Unbelievable. Well,
He was a cold dude, man. And I ain't trying to smash him or bash the black man or nothing like that. But this is just what I remember. This is my story. This is my truth.
So for the people who don't know and the artists out there, per diem is a daily allowance that you get from the record label to feed yourself. It's really for food, basically. It's not for they're not going to give you sneaker money. They're not going to give you get high money. It's for you to eat every day. Your room is basically taken care of. So he at least put y'all in hotels, right?
Oh yeah, we had hotels.
Okay.
Yeah, we had hotel rooms. Yeah, we had hotel rooms, and sometimes it would be a deposit. I know we was getting a deposit in the early days, but Luke would give us some of the deposit money. But then when things got bigger, he would keep the deposit money, and we would just get money after the show. So we would just get money. We come home from a show, not really after the show. He would pick up the money after the show and wait till we get home to pay us.
So, it was a point where you were famous, excuse my language, you was a famous broke person.
Oh yeah, no doubt. And that's how I made it. I was so famous that I could make it by being broke. Wow. Ain't that something? Yep.
Wow, that's wow. When the last time you had a conversation with Luke?
Last time I think it was at Jazz in the Gardens when Nita Baker performed at Jazz in the Gardens. She kept saying it was her last show. Man, I'm a Nita Baker fan, and that was you.
Now, I'm going to stop it right here because y'all can go listen for yourself. I'm just going to run down off the top of my head some of the other things that he said. So he was saying that they weren't getting any per diem. Now, when he was out of town, I'm sure he got per diem. How was he fucking eating? I got per diem. My per diem was $700 a week. Like he said, it wasn't for sneakers, it wasn't for clothes, it wasn't for weed, although I would be pinching or buying every shit because how the fuck am I eating $700 a week by my motherfucking self? But that's what the fuck I was getting. Another reason why I was getting per diem was because I was from out of town. I was being flown in from New York. And I would stay in Miami for a couple of weeks at a time, recording, going off, doing shows, doing tours, and I had to eat. So that per diem was allotted to me every week, $700 a week. Now, when I was living in Uncle Luke's mansion, there was no need for per diem because I was just eating the shit that was in his motherfucking house, you know? There was no need for per diem because I wasn't staying in the hotel. He put me up under his roof. That saved him money, and that also saved me money. So you're saying, Jiggy, how did that save you money when he was breaking you off and now he wasn't breaking you off anymore? Because remember what I told you, boys and girls. Whatever the record company gives you, you have to pay them back, even down to the per diem. Now, if you cool with the president of the record company and he just want to do something like nicey nice for you, like, hey, I got you this. Sometimes the record company will do nice things for you and you don't have to pay them back. But at the end of the day, when it comes to big budget shit, you have to pay them back or else they will go broke. Another thing that he said was, after a while in the interview, if you go back and listen to it, you're going to hear him say, oh, Luke did give me a car and I did have a house. Chinaman and them, they didn't have no car and they didn't have no house. Like, I ain't had to pay no rent or none of that. Luke just gave me a house, but he didn't get him a house. Okay, but this the same motherfucker that you said you ain't talking to, you ain't care for, you ain't like, the same motherfucker that you talking about 150 years later gave you a house. What happened to the house? What you do with it? Gave you a car. What the fuck you do with the goddamn car? You was getting some type of money. What the fuck was you doing with your money? Was you reinvesting that money in yourself? Was you trying to save anything? I had a son. I was a single parent. So it was like whatever money I made, I had to take care of my son. That's what the fuck I was doing as a mama. But hey, you was a nigga, like with no kids, like just chilling, young. What was you doing with your money? Ain't that much getting high in the motherfucking world, Marquis. Seriously, what were you doing with your money? He also talked about a cracker motherfucker, where when Luke had to file for bankruptcy, he discussed the selling of masters, how his masters was sold. Hold on, let me see if I can find that.
What was the conversation like?
Hold on.
This is Brother Marquis, and your voice was a little different.
That's from Overtown, Florida. Dude named Gigolo. I used to hear him saying that all the time. And babies and fools. And fools.
You ain't no baby. Well, we know now about a lot of people selling their soul. What did you see?
About Cowers in Compton. That's never happened.
Did you
Anyway,
see? Having you I think you did an interview with Soren Baker. Shout out to Soren Baker and Unique Accent.
Out and took the shit and threw the shit out. But then after that, though, I was
dealing with. So you have people that just want to talk to you, just tell you how much they love.
Okay, so I didn't have nothing queued up. So there's a part where he was talking about, and I don't like this individual named Joe Weinberger. Joe Weinberger was the record company's attorney. He was the attorney for Luke Records, and he winded up raping every last one of us. Little Jewish man came in smiling, and next thing you knew, he was like, oh, you know what, Luke? I'm your attorney. I was here helping you. Well, guess what, nigga? You owe me this. To make a long story short, the motherfucker winded up taking ownership of masters. And in those masters included the 2 Live crew. I'm not going to speak on everybody else because that's everybody else's story to tell. I'm just speaking on what Marquis was saying. And he was saying that, okay, so he winded up taking masters, ownership of masters, because he was saying that Luke owed him money. He basically got in there, finagled shit, and fucking lied because he was an attorney. He was doing all the paperwork for the record company. He knew everything about the record company. So, of course, he was able to manipulate the game. And Marquis did admit that. So he winded up bouncing, the fucking attorney, winded up leaving and started his own label called Little Joe Records. He gathered up the masters, took them shits over there, and the 2 Live Crew went over there with the motherfucking cracker that took they shit. So Marquis was saying he just wanted to follow his trail of music. Like he ain't want to leave it over there with the motherfucking cracker and shit. He wanted to be over there. And then he turned around and called the cracker all type of faggot motherfuckers and this, and that, because he ain't with the cracker no more. Which is true. The cracker was a little faggot motherfucker. But the point is, you went over there with the cracker. You left the black-owned nigga. You ain't give a fuck about the nigga. You was like, I ain't never liked him. I ain't never want nothing to do with the nigga. The nigga that fucking gave you the house, the car, some motherfucking jewelry, money, gave you the start. You should have took the motherfucking ball and ran with it, nigga. You ain't had no kids, nothing. You could have fucking capitalized off of your whole shit right there with that black-owned company. You could have did the damn thing. You chose not to. You chose not to. So then you ran over there. That fucking cracker put all type of shit in your head about Luke because you said he was over there talking about Luke every motherfucking day on the nigga nuts. Talk about, oh, Luke. Fuck all y'all. So Luke winded up having to start all over again, filing for bankruptcy under Chapter 11. And every fucking artist that was caught up in that bullshit during that time because of Joe Weinberger all was getting Chapter 11 information on a regular. I have it all right here. Every time Luke stepped in bankruptcy court, we got motherfucking notice. I knew every motherfucking time what the fuck was going on. If anybody had an opportunity then to say anything and you didn't, that's your motherfucking problem. But I got all my shit right here because I was on it. I was on it. And that's where artists be fucking up at. So I just wanted to go over that because I see Marquis kind of like got up in his feelings and saying he doing all of this for the legacy of Chinaman. No, you doing this for your motherfucking self, okay? Because when Chinaman, God bless his soul, was alive, he could have spoke on his own shit. He don't need you here after he gone speaking for him. You are speaking for you. You never once said, oh, Chinaman said this about Luke. Everything you said, you're saying yourself from your heart to Luke. What you didn't like, what you wasn't going to do, what happened, what you didn't get, with the At the end of the day, it's done, it's over. It's up to you now. It's up to you, Marquis. I don't have nothing against you, but I'm saying I feel like you wrong. You wrong. Like, nobody is perfect in this world. But you are wrong. And the reason why I'm saying you're wrong is because you didn't handle your business. You didn't have an attorney. You didn't have a contract. You was doing shit with no contract. Whose fault was that? You cannot say it was because you was young. You was old enough to fuck. You was old enough to motherfucking write and knew what the hell you was saying. It was all motherfucking good when you was pushing that car and the nigga ain't never gave me no motherfucking car. This house that I fucking own, Luke ain't get his motherfucker to me. I worked hard and got that shit myself. At the end of the day, don't nobody owe you shit. The only person that owe you anything is you. That's it. I'm done here. Doggy Diamonds, great interview.